Well, howdy, 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 everybody. Teresa here with Brad. It is, what's today's date?
It is the,
21st?
oh, I don't know. My watch changed itself. 20th.
20th? Okay. It is February 20th, 2023. Monday afternoon at probably, what, 4:30-ish?
4:32.
See how close.
You were?
Don't mind my hair. I know, I still need to color it. There've been other things priority, right? I know I look a wreck. Such is life.
Oh, you're pretty.
Anyway, we are right now, well, I won't, I'm jumping way ahead. I don't remember when I last made a video. I think it was Friday, maybe? Thursday or
I
Friday.
think so.
And I'm feeling much better. I am over COVID. I tested Friday night, and I am over COVID. And I'm feeling a lot better. And I don't know if the congestion is allergies or just some remnant of a cold or what. Brad now has it. Brad now has a cold. He's going to test tonight for COVID. But he has a wicked cold, upper respiratory and sinus. He's on antibiotics now. And I thought I was feeling much better. I come out here today because I wanted to make some turkey noodle soup. I saved the carcass from the last turkey that we cooked up. And, it had plenty of meat left on it. Even after I deboned, I left extra on it. And so boiling that up for soup stock with some dehydrated vegetables, some onions and spices, chicken bouillon, and that. And came out here to ride the bike. Didn't ride it last week because, I had COVID and stuff. And man, I struggled to just do 10 minutes. When you're sick and stuff, it takes you down so fast. I mean, you're like, wow. So I struggled and struggled and struggled. I mean, I would just sweat pouring off me, which is good for me. I break whatever's going on. But since I'm still recovering and Brad has got it, we're helping each other out. We're doing a little bit of laundry. Friday we did clean the whole house. I was feeling that good. And so he's going to make some of the classic egg noodles, which if you guys look it up, there's a recipe, and it calls for basically flour, salt, and eggs, basically for the most part. I think a half cup of milk or something like that. And I was going to add an extra egg to that. It called for 2 eggs. I thought we do 3. I grew up watching my great-grandmother and my grandmother make these egg noodles. They're the nice thicker ones. I know you could buy them. There used to be something similar to it called Grandma's Noodles in the frozen section. I haven't been able to find those since we left Wyoming. But so these, and the nice thing is that the flour off of them thickens up your chicken broth or your turkey broth quite nicely. So we're going to do that. I'm going to throw in a loaf of bread into the bread maker also. So we're going to have some nice turkey noodle soup and a nice piece of crusty bread, to dip in it. And, because I am a firm believer that chicken noodle or turkey noodle, whatever, is, and they say scientifically it has some healing properties and stuff. If nothing else, the warmth and stuff help open up your bronchioles and stuff. We've been having Brad do breathing treatments. You feel better after your breathing treatment?
I do.
Yeah, because he is very susceptible to bronchitis and pneumonia, and I definitely don't want him to get either one of those, especially not the pneumonia, because last time he had pneumonia, and this was while he was still working at the grocery store. How many years ago do you think that was, babe?
It was probably about 14 years ago.
Yeah, at least. I know I was in college at the time.
Oh, yeah, it's been longer than that.
Yeah, it's almost been 20 years since I was in college.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, about 15, 16 years. He ended up on oxygen. What happened was I knew he was fighting a cold. I got up early. I had an early, like 7 a.m. anatomy class. And it was like an all morning long anatomy class, right? Human anatomy. I knew I had to go. So we'll go there. We're in the middle of a lecture. And at break time, I told my professor, I said, I really need to get home. My husband is not feeling well at all, and I need to take him to the emergency room. And he was like, oh, yeah, your excuse. Go ahead and go. And I came home, and he was still in bed, and I got him up, and I said, we're going to the emergency room. You know when Brad's really sick when he doesn't fight you. And took him up there and stuff, and they wanted to keep him, and he refused to stay in there, but he came home with oxygen. And he was on oxygen for how long? 6 weeks or so?
6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, they wanted me to stay on a little bit longer.
And actually, they wanted you to be on nocturnal oxygen at least. Yeah. And he couldn't sleep with it on, and finally he just took it down there and gave it to him. He's like, I can't. But he even went through jury duty and everything with oxygen. And they said, oh, you could be excused. And he's like, no, please, I'm going crazy. He's going there every day with his oxygen and stuff. So I worry. He has a long history of when he was a child having bronchitis very badly. His mom used to tell me about that.
The biggest thing I noticed, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
The biggest thing I noticed was after I recovered from pneumonia, that my lung capacity wasn't anything what it used to be.
It's never recovered like it was. It just never has. So anyway, try to take care of him, try to take care of me. I'm feeling much better, and I don't have COVID any longer and stuff. I just need to gain back my strength. You guys know how it is when you've been sick for a while and stuff. So I just need to, that's why you do physical therapy and stuff. Just increase your strength. And I'll get there. I plan on tomorrow doing 15 minutes. I'll get there. I mean, first day back on your bike is always the hardest. So, Brad slept pretty good overnight. I've been giving him cold medicine every 4 hours. I think he's just going to stop asking what I'm handing him. Aren't you?
Yeah.
He's like, he knows there's more cold medicine. So that's what we're doing. Yep, he's going to start the egg noodles in the KitchenAid. So that'll be good. Got a nice dough hook to it. So what else? Oh, I was going to show you guys this latest hat that I finished. The only thing, I'm going to have to fix the brim, and I think I'm going to have to run like a stitch vertical. I was going to ask Kathy about this. I'm having trouble, Kathy, getting this brim. I did, but it keeps wanting to curl up on me, even though I altered the stitches and stuff. So I'm thinking that maybe I need to go and just tack it at different places here to get it to stay straight down, because that's how I wanted it to be. It was like that. So, but see, so that's this hat. And I'm working on another one, of course. And still haven't gotten those hats down to Tender Mercies. We're going to donate, I think, both of our extra large dog kennels to them also. And possibly Jelly Bean's small metal one. We have a plastic one if we were taken to the vet if we couldn't hold her. Because we just won't use that stuff with the dogs we have, like his great big harness, the stuff that was bought for him because he was a really big dog. And that stuff can be pricey, so we'll donate that down there. I think I already talked about that last time I talked to you guys. Just kind of cleaning out some stuff like that. I don't think we've really had much of anything else going on. We did go out. I think I told you guys we went out Thursday, and I think I made my video Thursday maybe. Was out in the sunshine and stuff, and then it started raining. It rained Friday. That's what it was, babe. Didn't it rain Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you went out. Oh, I'll show you guys. He went out and got Charlie's paw print. And had run a few other errands in that way. I don't want to take him out of the bag right now, but that's Charlie's paw print. Yeah. They do a real nice job. This is very nice, so I want to make sure that nothing happens to it, you know. But yeah, that was little man's paw print. But I want to go get him and bring him home. Oh, we're glad he's home. So, you know, the other two dogs are doing better now. Nixie's starting to come out of it. She's getting more playful again and stuff. I mean, I know she still misses him. We all do. But she's getting to be more playful. I think anytime you have rescued dogs or cats, I think they kind of panic too, because we don't know what they went through when they were surrendered. If you've adopted them from like Humane Society or anything like that, or even private, we don't know what their story is. But I think they almost start to panic when an animal leaves, thinking maybe they're going to be next. And I think that's kind of what happened with Nixie too. She's kind of afraid she was going to be next, and you know, now she realizes no, you know. When Brad's been brushing her out every night, we kind of have this whole thing, right? I mean, I changed Jelly. Jelly's so funny too. If it feels really good and I'm cleaning her derriere, she'll stick her butt way up in the air, won't she, honey?
Yes, that's funny.
I showed Brad, he just started laughing. And then, you know, she gets her sweater on, and I'll kind of brush her out and stuff. And then Nixie gets all brushed out. Brad, we use some glosser on her coat, you know, and it brushes her out really good, and then they get one of the good treats. And so they've gotten used to that at night. I keep thinking I should have more entertaining content for you guys, but we're just kind of in a passage of our life where it isn't real exciting. I want to be honest. I mean, you know, somebody was talking about how busy their life was and stuff, and I said, well, been there and done that. They were talking about they're still raising kids and stuff. And I said, but we're at a path in our life where, you know, kids are grown and gone. And it's just kind of our time is our own, you know, with Brad being you know, disabled and permanently retired. And so, you know, unless we have a doctor's appointment or something, basically our time is our own. And, you know, because I used to feel bad. I used to feel left out because, you know, many people are still used to, are still raising kids or involved with different family stuff. And that's just not how our life is. So I used to feel really bad, and now it's like, no, we're all at different journeys of our life and stuff, and this is our journey right now. And we just enjoy each day. Brad was going to make some phone calls today, you know, because he needs to go see some specialists, but being it's President's Day, yeah, not going to be doing that. And I haven't gotten, I know there's mail being held by the mail mob, I call them. We haven't found out a determination or not. Brad did get the letter from the doctor saying he's, you know, permanently disabled and has to, you know, and can't walk very far. So, see what their determination is about our mailbox and, you know, stuff. Until then, they're just holding our stuff for ransom over here in Rocky Mount. So we'll go tomorrow probably and go get it. I know I've got some, I take, it's called a dairy enzyme. It's like lactate because I am lactose intolerant. So if I'm eating anything with any kind of dairy in it, I'll take one or two before that meal. It works out well for me. And I know that's being held, and I know that, I have my friend who's sent me some cards and stuff that I'm eager to get. So, yeah, if you've sent me anything, it's being held for ransom. Normally that's not an issue, but, yeah. Oh, I was going to say, let me see. I was going to tell Kathy, as this is all scrap yarn that you sent me. You'll recognize that nice thicker, and then all of this is yarn that she sent me. Isn't that cool? I like it. Well, I think this very dark gray is stuff I already had. I know it looks black, but it's super dark gray. So anyway, and let's see. Yeah, I'll show you that one when I get done with it. But do you have anything to say, hon?
Nope, I think you got it all.
Think so?
When you're done, I need you to come check to see, because this is.
Why did you not use the dough hook?
Because I used this paddle and it worked, but I don't think. I think I need more flour.
You do. I can tell you right now, you do.
Okay.
It should all form into a bowl or into a ball. You're going to want to switch into the dough hook now.
Okay.
Because dough hook is going to do better for you.
Okay.
And then just slowly shake in some flour. You know how you would do bread dough for pizza or anything? How it's going to all form into a ball?
Yeah.
That's what.
Okay.
But they can't tell. I mean, it depends on different humidity and stuff.
Yeah.
So especially working with any kind of dough.
Yeah.
Is very temperamental to humidity and even climate. I mean, even altitude. And when we lived in Wyoming, everything had to be, there was always a high altitude adjustment. We always had to use that.
Our backyard was exactly 1 mile high.
Yeah. Yeah. Helping Mr. a little bit more, because, the hand trimmers, God bless him. I watch him, and makes it so hard for him to do so many things that he never says a word about. But, some of these things I know have just gotten to a point where it's almost impossible. And so, I just help him when he needs to do something that's pinpoint, right?
Yep.
Because that's when it can be hard. And then it depends on if he doesn't feel good, or if he's super tired or upset or anything on that. That will make it worse. But, you just deal with what you deal with, right?
Yep. Keep pushing on.
That's all we can do. Just keep pushing on. Be grateful for each day that you're alive and you're above ground.
There was a friend of mine that used to come in the store, and I know I've told you about him several times, sweetie.
Okay, honey.
J.B. Strange.
Oh, yeah. I love him. He's a very nice guy.
Super.
I never met him, but we're Facebook friends.
Super, super nice guy. And he ended up getting some sort of disease. It's been long enough, I don't remember what it was. And Jay was an incredible athlete. Mm-hmm. Used to play a lot of basketball, used to ride his bike a lot. Well, with this disease, he ended up getting both his legs amputated. Mm-hmm. I believe right below the knees. And I said, he is such a huge inspiration because he always looked at the positive side. He was always upbeat. Mm-hmm. He didn't look at this as a disability, and that's the least I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, he did too, and I mean, he's lifting weights and doing leg presses, and I think, is he back to riding a bike? I know he's back to playing basketball, and
I know he's living somewhere out on the East Coast.
If it can be done, he's doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he is living somewhere. I can't remember where.
Yeah.
I don't go on Facebook very often, if you guys haven't noticed or not. If you ever send me anything on Facebook, it might be a while. I forget to check Facebook. So you might need to nudge me and go, hey, check your Facebook or something, because, Yeah, I don't go do a lot of social media. I know it might sound kind of surprising, but I don't really do a lot of social media. I just, you know, I just kind of stick with Brad and the pups, and make each day what it is. You know, because you never know what's going to happen. And one thing I wanted to talk about. I know one thing I did want to talk about you guys about is as we all age. Excuse me, I got to get a hook. I got to get a hooker here. I got a hooker. See, got a hooker. This is the hat I'm making right now. Got some more. The dark gray is yarn I had, and this is yarn that my wonderful friend Kathy sent me scrap yarn. I get so excited. But anyway, as we age and stuff, we can see a lot clearer. We gain hopefully some wisdom and stuff, and we can see a lot clearer who is actually really a true friend and who is a friend only when it's convenient. And don't think anything's wrong with you if you decide that enough is enough. Don't keep those people around that are not really your friend. Cut them loose because they just take extra energy. That's the way I feel anyway. If they're not really your friend and they're not there and they can't lend you a hand or even lend you a hand of care when you're going through some stuff, like we've been going through some stuff, cut them loose. Cut them loose. I don't need anybody around just for when the good times or just when they have something they need. I want it to be a back and forth type of friendship. Hey, how are you, friend? And etc. And don't be afraid to say no. If a friend wants you to do something and it's not something you really want to do, don't be afraid to say no. If they're really your friend, they'll understand. You're like, no, I can't do that, or no, that's not something I'm interested in. We all have different things that we're interested in, things we're willing to do, not willing to do. I've had a lot of people tell me I should make prints off of my painting and sell them, and that's good for other people. It's just not something I wish to do, because when I sell a painting, I like that person to know that they are the only person in the entire world that has that piece of artwork. I have a picture of it, but nobody else does. That's it. That's an original piece, and that's just for them. And that may be a stupid way to be, but it's just how I am. And I'm not saying anything bad about anybody that makes prints and sells them. I know lots of artists and stuff that have, and that's great for them. It's just how I am. I just want, each piece of work I put so many hours into, and layers of paint and stuff, and I'm only going to do that piece once. I'm not going to ever paint it again. I'm not, you're lucky if you get a different variation of it, but it's not going to ever be the same. What I see in my mind's eye that day will be different than what I see in it tomorrow. I don't know how many times the painting has massively changed because maybe my mood changed, or maybe I didn't like how it was looking, or I looked at something a little differently and I'm like, I like that interpretation better. I'm going to do it that way. Or maybe I don't think the shadows were falling right, or whatever. I've taken, like that buffalo painting I just finished. I thought it was finished before and I absolutely hated it, and I was getting ready to paint over it actually. And I would have, except for it has plaster on the canvas itself. And so even if you gesso over it, it's not going to, the plaster forms some of the ice ridges and stuff. So I thought, okay, I was thinking maybe I would just throw it away. And then I thought, well, let me try something a little bit different. A friend of mine said, well, the buffalo needs to look like more part of the picture, and it just kind of looks like it stands out. And then they were very right. And so I started working with it and thinking about it, and then I finally am happy with it now. But, I won't cheapen my prices because I put a lot of work, and that's an extension of me in that piece. I would rather give away artwork before I cut prices, because that's almost saying, oh, to me it's almost like saying, well, my work's not any good, I'm just going to cut prices. You know, you may have 100 people look at that painting and nobody buy it, but that 101st person will. And if it doesn't get sold, then it doesn't get sold. You know, they make nice gifts. So that's just how I am, you know. And like I said, each artist is different. Each person that looks at a piece of artwork and how they interpret it is different, you know. So, you know, there's some people that look at my artwork and think it's probably shit, and there's other people that look at my artwork and just love it. So, you know. And as long as you like what you're doing, you're really not worried if other people like it or not, because it's just part of you and just, you know, how you are and how you conceptually think about stuff in general. So, anyway, that's my viewpoint on it. Not saying it's right, but that's my viewpoint on it. So, do you have anything you want to talk about? Brad's doing some wire wrapping today. We started watching that National Geographic, I think it is. It's on Netflix. The parks, the nation's parks. I highly recommend you watch that. It's on all the state parks and stuff, and even all over the world, and beautiful footage, you guys. Sit down, if you have kids or grandkids, sit down with them, or just, Brad and I were mesmerized. Absolutely mesmerized. Because it was such, and we only watched the first one. It's like a limited documentary. Barack Obama narrates it, and he does a very nice job. I'm not a fan of him politically, but he does a very nice job narrating. And, you know, it's just beautiful. It's just, and seeing animals that we didn't even know existed and everything, it's just something else. Still liking the Carnival Row. We're on season 1. And if you get on there, you know, you're looking, he's like, oh, it's season 2. Type that in, like, to Amazon Prime is where that is at. And type in Carnival Row, and it'll have the first season. So that, if you're a Prime member, will be free to you. I'm not paying for nothing. I already pay enough for these subscriptions. Huh. Right, honey?
Yeah.
If we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have Amazon Prime, and then Brad has YouTube Music. I'm not sure why, but he does.
Actually,
or is it YouTube or Amazon Music?
Amazon Music.
He has Amazon Music, okay.
But
he likes it.
Yeah, and also if we cancel Amazon Music,
yes,
then I won't have Alex.
Yeah, you will. Have her hook up to Spotify.
But that's how she does the search, is Amazon Music.
Well, that's her problem.
Well, no.
Alexa, can you hook up to Spotify?
To listen to Spotify Premium, go to the Alexa app settings, select Music, and then select Link New Service. Tap Spotify to link your account.
See?
Once you complete this step, you can ask me to play Spotify. By the way, you can thank the driver of your most recent delivery, and will share your appreciation with them. Just say, thank my driver.
What driver? We don't have a driver.
Not that I'm aware of.
We don't have a driver, please. But see, you can, Brad.
Okay.
So, I won't, you know, it's up to you. But, I mean, you listen to Spotify the most.
Yeah.
But if you really like the Amazon Music, we'll keep it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's only $5 a month. I'll just take it out of all your allowance.
Okay.
You're like, I'm getting an allowance?
I know. That was it.
Woohoo!
I don't know what I did with my cane.
I don't know what you did with your cane. But don't come walking this way with your underoos on.
Well, I was going to peek out the door and see.
Oh, I don't have anything that's waiting to be delivered.
Well, that's kind of what I thought.
The only thing that was going to be delivered, they are holding for hostage and said they delivered.
Yeah.
Which was my dairy enzyme. supplement stuff.
Yeah, nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
Alexa, what driver?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Sorry, I don't know that. Alexa, you're fired.
No, she's not even going to.
She's not going to talk to me now. She loves Brad. She is always talking to him and flirting with him and giving him useless trivia. Me. But yeah, I can hear them chatting away. I tell him all the time that's his girlfriend. He said, yeah, it is. I'm like, well, you guys go. I don't care. I can see that being a very one-sided relationship, Brad Heidi.
It really is.
It really is. Really is, Brad Heidi.
It is Teresa Heidi.
Okay, Brad Heidi. How's that soup smelling, Brad Heidi?
Smelling very good.
So what are you doing with it now? Letting it rest?
Mm-hmm.
Did you add more flowers?
I did.
Did that work?
Yeah,
You just forgot. You've been a while since you worked with dough.
Well, and I forgot because I added an extra egg.
Yep.
And I added a little more butter, so I forgot I needed to add extra flour.
I grew up, I told you guys this before, with my grandmother and great-grandmother and stuff, and we built at their house, and my mother too. And we'd have newspaper covering the back of every kitchen chair, countertop, everything be rolling out the dough. My great-grandmother could cut these noodles perfectly. I mean, she just could cut me. I mean, she probably threw down more bread dough noodle dough than I ever thought about even sneezing at. So I grew up watching that, and then it would be my job to lay those over the back of the chair so they could dry. Because they also used those up at the bowling alley. Homemade chicken noodle soup and stuff. So I grew up with that. We never did just the butters and noodles. I know a lot of people like that. I've never been a fan of it, neither did Brad. I think if you were raised with it, then you really like it. My family was all German, so, that's how we cook, and that's why I think most German women are large. Because of how we cook, though. I mean, that's meat and potatoes and noodles and bread and...
Oh, yeah.
The way you don't cook much. And, of course, when Brad and I growing up, it seemed like our mothers fried everything for the longest time. They did. My mother always had a big thing of Crisco. We never used vegetable oil or anything. We never even bought any. We just had Crisco all the time. Used it in everything. So, we never had margarine either. We always just used butter.
Yeah.
But, yeah, everything was fried. Fried pork chop. Fried, Mom never made chicken fried steak. I don't think she ever made chicken fried steak.
I don't remember my mom doing that either.
That's how I learned how to cook, was starting in about junior high and stuff. Or even, I was still in grade school, and she would give me instructions. She would yell instructions at me. What to do, But, I'm grateful for it now. I left home and I knew how to cook, so that was good, And like these dehydrated vegetables that we've had, we're going to make the noodles out of the flour and eggs and stuff, and I already had the turkey carcass and meat, so it's all good. Plus, it makes you feel good and you're not near as stuffed up.
Yep.
So, I've really been enjoying my loom knitting. Of course, I always do. So, this I'll probably do. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a double diamond pattern on this, or I'm just going to do a single one. I haven't decided yet. So, I guess we'll know when we know, right?
Yep.
I don't know. It's a small adult, so I may do just a single diamond on it instead of a double row. The nice thing is you can change you can change up any pattern that you've come up with. You know, sometimes I'll mix pattern. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, kind of like Brad and I were talking about my artwork. And I will do, if it's an abstract painting, it takes me no time at all. Now, if it's a realistic painting or like a nature painting, that can take me a long time. Beach scenes and that do not take me very long, but, you know, the more detailed and stuff, it will have like a bajillion layers and a bajillion nasty words to it and stuff. Brad will hear me have a whole conversation with my painting. You know, but I don't like how you're this here, but I like how you are there, and right, hun?
Yes.
You know.
And bajillion is a technical term.
It is bajillion. It is. I need a few new houseplants, but they're so darn expensive.
Well,
Tulips are all done. They're all bleh. I'm gonna have to cut them back now. Hopefully they'll come. I don't know if they'll come up again. Do tulips come up in the fall ever? I'm not used to tulips.
Spring.
Well, I know they come in the spring. My grandmother used to have a whole row of them. She had a white picket fence. And right outside the picket fence, before it meet the sidewalk, there was enough space. She had a whole row of tulips. In fact, I helped plant some of them. And they were always so pretty every spring. You know, and she also had a few daffodils in there, too. But she would get so mad if it snowed and, you know, those tulips would have just started getting ready to open and stuff. So I'm not real familiar with tulips. I never bought them for that reason because living in Wyoming, you don't get to enjoy them much. I want to get some begonias to grow inside. Is it begonias or geraniums that can grow inside? I think it's geranium.
I have no idea.
Do you guys know? My Christmas cactus, I keep thinking I'm going to throw it away, it's not doing well, and then I purposely won't water it for a couple of weeks and it bounces back. I have a tendency to water even my, I have to be really mindful of my succulents because, and aloe vera is one of them, and that's why I don't do very well with an aloe vera plant because I don't neglect it enough. You know, so... But I need to get a few more house plants. You know, I have a philodendron. I have some ivy. I have a couple of things of ivy. And I thought about Amazon has some, but you know, it's like $20 for like 4 plants. So I'm like,
No, everything has gone up so much.
Yeah. You know, it's not $20 I can really waste. So, you know. Keep hoping we'll make some friends with somebody around here that has houseplants and I can get a couple. I just need some cuttings.
Yeah?
I just need some cuttings. That's it. I used to buy some from a gal a long time ago that lived on the East Coast, and she sold cuttings on eBay, and she'd wrap them up, and they'd be good, but she'd moisten up the paper towels, and she'd wrap them, and then she'd wrap them in plastic, and mail them that way, and they were still good and stuff, but, you know, I don't remember who she is. She's probably not even doing it anymore, and you know, first world problems.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting excited about this summer growing stuff. I should be able to harvest some asparagus this year. This is year 3, and they say to let your asparagus, don't pick it or anything. Don't cut it for the first couple years. That's what I read. So this will be year 3. So we should be good to go this year. Basically, if I pay attention to it. Had some mint coming back. Not having moss roses because one planter got burnt up and the other one we took down. We replaced those 2 planters that were on the top of our railing with some really pretty solar lights. They're very pretty up there, aren't they? They're kind of a black cast iron, and it emits this beautiful pattern too. So it's really pretty. I'm really liking the solar lights, and you keep thinking, I'm not paying for that. So I'm not paying for the solar. So, you know, we got to put the rest out. But I think it almost acts like it wants to rain today, even though it's not going to.
Yeah, it's not supposed to, but it does look
I don't know how low it got. I know at one point in time it got down to 31 degrees last night. So we're going to have a couple days of warm weather, and then it's going to go back down. That's the spring we're having. Anything else?
No, sounds like you got it all covered very well.
So that's what we're doing, just hanging out. I think Brad's feeling somewhat better.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yep.
You'll be okay.
Oh, well. You can't get rid of me that easily.
I know. Stronger drugs. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go, but I just wanted to come on here and say hi and tell you guys that we love you guys. And please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Please leave a comment. And I'm going to get, I know one of you asked about loom knitting. I'm going to sit down and reply to you tonight. I'm sorry I haven't earlier. Sometimes the mind is just, but I will. I'll sit down and reply to you tonight. I've got some other emails I need to do. Remember, we love you guys, and we do cherish your friendship so very much. And I think you guys are awesome. And as always, everybody say bye, Brad.
Bye, Brad.
Bye, guys.